don't think we have the money for this, for that song to start the episode. But I'm gonna start a little bit in the episode with that. Just we'll see what YouTube thinks. Because there's a special sweet spot. You can use maybe 10 seconds or not, and then it can't be in back there. But then it is. And then it's not. But then little. We have to thank Stranger Things for bringing back a lot of these things. And the reason I'm going full emo right now is because of the direness of this movie, what the emotional breakdown it gave me as a child, because I'm with you on that. I absolutely hated some of the scenes in this movie. They scared me. I had nightmares about them. I cried. And then at the end, I don't even know if it's enough to be riding your own luck dragon. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming back on this quest to heal our inner child, to talk to them.
Some of our inner children.
Some of it. Because someone over here, Mr. Heartless.
I'm a heartless asshole because I point something out.
Doesn't care for the horsies.
Because you're
at
wrong.
all. Just listen to that, man. How does that not
just make me
takes
nervous?
you?
Just makes me nervous because we can't afford it.
Because we can't afford that song. I'm gonna have to go back and cut the track into happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Anyways, if you're not familiar with the show, my name is Matt. This is Trey and Tyler. They can acknowledge. You guess which one that is. We'll tell you at the end. We are Nostalgialand. We are so happy to have you. I will de-emofy a little bit here just so you can see some faces. But for anyone just joining us and never listened to our show, we talk about everything 80s, 90s, today, Magic 102.7. Anything that we love that you're nostalgic for. And honestly, one of our biggest things that we really want from our community is we would love it if you have a show, a movie, toys, music, anything along those lines that you absolutely loved when you were a kid, and you are nostalgic for. We would love to have you comment on any of our Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Amazon Music. We also have our Instagram, which is nostalgialand.podcast. And for at least the next, I think it's probably gone now, actually, when this episode airs, our TikTok will be absolutely obliterated because TikTok might not be around. So we'll have to see with that. But we're also on Facebook at the same thing, Nostalgialand Podcast. So we would love your input, love your comments, love you to participate and join in this community. And yeah, tell us suggestions, tell us some things that you want to hear. We've had some fans last year, a good Mike and the Miser Bros comment and leave some feedback.
Good Mike.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you.
Good Mike. It's good Mike.
This one's good. But you are also good. You're one of the best, actually, Mike. You and me here, bud, right here. So we are a little goofy, a little spotty. We like to sing. We like to dance a little bit. Tyler's still kind of a little sick, so you might not hear much from him in terms of his harmonies. But, I mean, clear as a whistle. It's a bell. Just rings out.
It's like that harmonica from Free Willy, baby.
Yeah, from last week's episode of Free Willy. Man, he can play it wrong and it still sounds clear. It sounds absolutely amazing. But yeah, so thank you again for joining us today. We're diving into, honestly, it is such an iconic, brilliant movie about losing horses and giant bats.
I say one thing. I'm just gonna get beat over the head with it the entire episode. All right, here we go.
It is the NeverEnding Story, which I think is us actually playing behind me too. Is it right? Is this
correct?
This is the first one, right?
Yeah.
Because we do have NeverEnding Story 1, 2, and 3, and a potential remake. And they showed a clip of it, or not a clip, a poster of it. And there is something deeply wrong with their design of Falkor, the luck dragon in this, and the new one. I hope they're not doing
the giant dog.
Yeah, the giant dog dragon, because that's what you need when you're in Fantasia. But thank you for being here and joining us. NeverEnding Story. How do we want to jump into it? Because it just kind of begins. It doesn't.
You know right off the bat. No mom.
Yeah. This kid has no mother.
And the dad makes that abundantly clear when he drinks his
Milk
his
egg smoothie thing. God, dude, some of the fads of the 80s are like, this is healthy. That's disgusting.
So I got a new phone.
Don't eat that.
And I was watching this movie on my phone in my office because I was doing some stuff on the computer.
While surgery? No.
During, I had it on the operating room. But like, I was like, okay, this is good. And then he turned the blender on and I was, Jesus Christ.
Oh, how loud it was. Yeah, dude. That blender, that's 80s quality right there, man. Those things would, blow your eardrums out. We had one actually at my grandma's house. Longest time. When that thing turned on, you knew breakfast was ready because it's now egg soup.
Come eat your egg slop.
I don't know. I tried to watch again what he was actually putting in it, and it doesn't make any sense. It's like milk, eggs, and then there wasn't a protein powder or anything about it. Like,
that's probably why it's not thick.
Yeah, that's all it was. And he's just like, healthy breakfast.
Those guys used to just drink straight up eggs. They just crack eggs into a cup and drink them.
You were like in Rocky.
Yeah, that's people would do that.
This dad is too much man for this child because this poor child's like, I just want to believe in dragons and unicorns and fairies.
I love books because I get bullied the shit out of every day of my life.
And my mom died.
Oh,
did she die or she just leave?
I think she died.
And you won't buy me a golden retriever to play basketball with. You son of a bitch.
If it was
one does that.
If it was the other way around.
Oh, okay. So what does he get? A cat?
No, he gets a book.
He gets
a cat
books,
that can golf.
It's a cat that can putt really well.
It's a cat that is introspective and talks to him about his life decisions.
It reads the greens really well. It just gets real low.
It's his caddy. It can't play golf, but it can tell him exactly what to do.
It's his catty. Wow. That's... we need to write that. Writes itself, frankly. Happy Gilmore 3. It's just a cat and Gilmore.
That's it. He leaves.
He leaves. He's out.
He becomes reincarnated as a cat.
They just put the jersey on the cat.
It's just Peterson as a cat.
What jersey is that?
The Boston Bruins.
Yeah, the Bruins. It says Gilmore on the back.
You can put a big bird on the back.
Hey, good jackets. What do you do?
Get one of the jackets. Put a big bird on the back.
Those bird jackets are coming now. I gotta make a bird jacket, dude, because that's gotta be part of our shop. Yeah, I know the T-birds gonna go wello. Yeah. So this kid has no mom. I'm assuming he's an alcoholic father because no one's drinking that sober in the morning. That's I have a meeting at 9:30 and I need to be awake for it.
Bastian.
Yes, Bastian. Just Bastian, not Sebastian. It's just Bastian. Yes, as a bastard son of Narnia. No. Fantasia.
He's from Narnia and controls Fantasia.
Yeah, that's his whole thing. Yeah, so this poor kid, he's on his way to school, and it's
after his dad tells him like, "Hey, you're in like third grade now. It's time to get real."
Yeah. And he's so sad too about it. He's like, I just want to draw unicorns. And
he's like, I heard you're drawing horses in your math book, and he's like, they were unicorns.
And he's like, what was that? What? While I chug my egg drink, and the kid's like, never mind. And he's like, yeah, this kid's not listening. Like no one's listening to this poor child.
He tells him it's time to put his feet on the ground.
Yeah, yes, and that comes. That's very important too.
Yeah,
that's a very important line about.
Get your
but
head
I
out of
gotta
the
keep
clouds.
my feet on the ground.
Yeah.
Because what 9-year-old doesn't? This poor child.
So he gets bullied by bully number 1, bully number 2, and bully number 3.
Yeah, they don't even have names in it.
I don't know if they do or not.
That's probably their name, actually. It's just bully 1, 2, and 3. It's like,
and they shove him into a dumpster.
Oh, yeah.
And then he's like, okay, I can get out of the dumpster now. And like walks back to the corner, and they're like, hey, get back in the damn dumpster.
Who said you could get out? $40 for pizza in vague New York area.
Not again.
Yeah, because like this kid his house is in a neighborhood, but his school is somewhere in downtown Philadelphia or something like that.
Germany.
It's like New World.
It's Germany? What? It's in Germany?
This is a German movie.
No, it is not.
Mm-hmm.
How? It's so American.
They made it in Germany. The book was written in Germany.
They had to do something after the war.
How else do you occupy your time?
When they redid it, like for an American audience,
yeah.
Steven Spielberg actually was brought in to help edit the film for the American. And right now on the screen behind you, he's looking at the orange symbol with the two snakes all wrapped together on the cover of the NeverEnding Story. And that symbol, that orange, is still framed in Spielberg's office to this day.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they gave it. The director gave it to him as like a thank you for
Industrial.
Nope, that's George Lucas.
That's Lucas.
Industrial Light and Magic. But yeah, then he gets bullied by the kids. He goes into the bookstore, and the dickhead old man is like, "Get out! I don't like kids."
Without even looking, he just like, I know that's a kid based on how hard that door swung open and was closed. Trust me, as a parent now, like you're just like, dude, like I've literally told my kids, I was like, let me show you how a door works. Honey. You can open it and then you can close it just as gentle, and it's still closed. It doesn't need to be every single time you come in from outside, and that's okay. But yeah, this guy is kind of a jackass.
Well, he wants to give him shit because they don't read books. Well, you just yelled at him and told him to get out because you don't like kids. Who's coming into your store?
He's here to read the books.
Yeah. Then Bastion ones up. He's like, but Lord of the Rings, this, that.
Treasure Island.
Go fuck yourself.
20,000 Leagues Under Sea. I know books. I got books.
I got 184 of them at home. They're comic books. No, they're not, jackass.
No, they're not. $40? For pizza?
$40 for books, and I got a lot of them.
Got a lot of them. $4
for pizza.
That's good old Tim Curry.
That's right. He's taking over the $40 for pizza.
$2 for pizza.
And then, so this kid basically steals this book.
He does the thing that the guy was. He was well aware kids steal things.
The guy's like, not this book. You don't want to read this book. It's not for you. Nope. I'm reverse psychologying your dumb ass right now.
No, you don't want this book. This book, it's got the ladies in it.
It's too real.
It's got my lady book.
It's too real for you.
You can't handle this book. Exactly.
You want the book? Get out of the book.
Get out of here. You don't want this book.
And so the guy goes to answer the phone. The kid's like, yoink.
Yeah. Because he's like, you don't want. I'm going to leave this book.
Don't worry about your book.
He had enough time to write a note to this guy. He's like, no, I'm not stealing your book. I'll bring it back. But I gotta steal your book.
Here's my library card.
Yeah. But it is such great in that 80s format of like, oh, there's a little mystery to this bookstore owner.
Yeah, the first human you see or the first humanoid creature you see in Fantasia. Yeah,
Fantasia.
Okay, I almost said Phantasmic.
Yeah. That's at Disney.
Is the Oompa Loompa from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Oh yes, Deep Roy, I think it is. But the bookkeeper. So what I was saying was like the way you know in that perfect 80s harmony is you get that little like mysterious piano kind of thing.
And then he looks back through the glass. Like,
exactly. He leans out. He's like on the phone, and then he's like, "Whoa!"
It's the Doc Brown Marty situation.
Yes. That's how you know there's something special about this bookkeeper. I should steal from him more often. I should take things from this person because magical things happen.
And then he goes into the weirdest school thing.
This kid owns the school.
They just leave a key to the attic. Like, if you want to go in the attic,
it's right here.
That's where the key is. And he's like, key.
Which I totally get why he does because he walks by his class. He's right down the hall. He goes, math. All right. It's to the attic. I'm not doing this at all.
This attic that's the size of a gymnasium.
Yeah, it's absolutely huge.
With a perfect mat for me to read on.
By the way, this school's complaining about like overcrowding. They got a whole attic up there. They could stick half the grade in.
Although when he looked in the window of his math class, there was only like 3 kids in the room. So I think they're all right.
I think they'll be fine.
Like, this was early 80s. They didn't have these problems.
There were empty desks.
Teachers could actually teach like students individually. Now it's like, hey, let's teach a faceless mask.
Like, the kid was like, math test.
Shit. Get that key. Gonna go back up there.
I could go if I go to the attic and I take the key and unlock it. They're not gonna have a key.
They won't do it. No, hopefully those upperclassmen aren't up there doing weed and things.
Hopefully those bullies aren't up there to shove me.
Yeah, doing the same thing because they would have walked by the class and be like, shit, math test. But they probably just went back outside. They're just like, we'll just go roam the streets.
We'll just bully the principal if he comes out.
Let's go take the principal's lunch money, loser. So he gets up there. He cracks his book open, and immediately you're transported into Fantasia. Which I was honestly rewatching this again. I was so blown away by some of the shots they get, like the aerials, like in the clouds. I don't know how much of that was CG or painted or however they decided to do those shots in 1984, but it was gorgeous.
Yeah, like, the effects are awesome in this movie.
So
for like
beautiful.
When it was.
Yeah.
A lot of practical effects.
Lot of practicality.
Just really cool designs too. Like the rock biter and like I love because there's so much to tell that they kind of move really quickly. Yeah. The story gets rolling right away. And you have like the guy that rides the bat.
Yeah, I want to look him up.
Constantly calling him the stupid bat. And I thought that was like a good, funny joke that they used.
And the bat has like narcolepsy.
Yeah, it's like stupid as hell. And like even the rock biter later in the movie refers to it as like when he's like the delivery of the rock biter is so sad and like forlorn. Yeah. Yes. And it's just like, look at these hands. They look like big, strong hands, and I couldn't hold them. Like the
stupid bat
with the with the male with his racing snail. And the whatever with his stupid bat.
Nighthawk
with his stupid bat. I couldn't hold them, and it's just like, oh, that's brutal. It's hard. It's so brutal.
But it's so great the way they introduce it because he's like he's just in the dark forest or something like that, and then there's thunder, and you see he's
like on his motorcycle, giant scooter thing, like Fraggle Rock.
It's a big wheel. It's just a big wheel, a 40-foot big wheel.
Fraggle Rock.
Seriously,
this rock biter comes showing up.
This is limestone, and this is Fraggle Rock.
Mm-hmm. Delicious.
But you first meet Nighthawk and Deep Roy, who was in. He's
the Oompa Loompa in the creepy Willy Wonka
with Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp. But his character's name is actually Teeny Weeny. So. Let's go with that. Free Willy last week.
Teeny Weeny.
Teeny Weeny this week by Deep Roy. But it's great because they're talking, and it adds in that way that I appreciate from the 80s with kids movies, that darkness where they're like, the rock guy shows up and he's like, I just came from the west or the
north
east, or no, because they got to go north. North is the only one that
he came from the west.
Okay,
the Nighthawk came from the south, and the Snail Rider came from the east, I believe.
East, okay, and he's like, there was nothing. Like all of a sudden there was a lake.
We lived by a lake, and he said, and then one day the lake was gone, and he was like, oh, it's dried up, and he's like, no, that would be something. It would be a dried lake bed. There was just nothing there.
Yeah, that concept of it, there's just nothing. And it was like, oh, and they added like that creepy music to it, and they're like, holy shit, we got to go talk to somebody about this. Yeah, and it's like, well, let's all go to the North Oracle. Let's go talk to the
Empress,
childlike Empress, and let's go figure this out.
Yeah, because he says like, where we live in the East, the same thing happened, and then the Nighthawk says, well, in the South, where my people are from, the same thing is happening. So not only is the nothing coming,
spreading,
but it's coming from everywhere all at once,
every direction,
everything everywhere all at once.
Yeah,
and I mean the way they build up the mystery behind the nothing, and like the finite of it. It's like, no, there was like a hole in the ground would be something, but no, you're looking into the vast void of absolute nothing,
and it's just like a black cloud.
Yeah, it's just. And for me, I remember thinking about that as a kid and being like, that's horrifying. Yeah. That's actually really scary. I don't
that reminds me
how do you fight the nothing?
It reminds me of that Pete Holmes joke where he's like, some people think God created the universe and some people think nothing created the universe.
Yeah.
Which is the dumbest guess?
Or the funniest, I think he's like, or the cutest guess or something like that.
And then he's like,
yeah.
He's like, and the nothing people make fun of the God people because they say they created everything. Well, I'm pretty sure that if your nothing spontaneously erupts into everything, that's a pretty goddamn magical nothing, you guys.
I think I send that to you guys every time I see it.
Oh, I love
God,
Pete Holmes for
funny.
that special, dude. Yeah, he talks about it, and he's like, "Well, what happens when you die?
Is
you
that
go
on
back to
Netflix?
nothing.
Turn into nothing.
You mean you merge with your creator?
Yes.
Heaven, people.
Yes.
That's heaven, bitch."
I always think those are like some of the best bits when like people point out the irony of how stupid our like so deeply held separate beliefs are.
Yeah,
When
in
you
our
break
logic.
them down to like their basic and you just like you guys basically believe the same thing and you put different names on the stuff and you're like, oh crap.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah. Crap.
It's just for me, it's always like, we're here maybe 90, hopefully 90 plus years around that average. And it's just like, you're going to figure it out. Like, you're going to figure out all this mystery and like in the universe and how this all works in your time here. Like, we're building on information, but we're also building a lot of wrong information. And you're going to be the guy who puts it down. Okay, fine. Just live with that.
Got it.
Awesome.
And then you hear about these guys that like Rogan has on his show where they're like, oh yeah, like all of our view of history is wrong. You're like, wait, what do you mean? And they're like, actually, there was like some impacts like in these areas, and you can see like the evidence. And then there's like civilizations, and I think that people were like way more advanced than we ever thought. And then these impacts like destroyed everything, and it's like, wait, what? Yeah. And then he's like, yeah, and other like archaeologists and stuff attack me because, and I'm like, yep, sounds familiar. Like, oh, you don't agree with what we're saying?
Yeah.
You're an idiot. You're wrong. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, how about we just look into it and stop calling each other idiots?
Yeah, how about we all just like approach this with like, there's a great
what the
mystery
hell
to
do we
figure
know?
out. Yeah.
Okay, so the scene that's going on behind Matt right now is just a quick clip, but it's when the guy is walking out and they're at the childlike empress's palace.
Yes, yeah.
And he comes out and basically tells them like,
She's dying.
we're fucked. The childlike empress is deathly ill and is like dying.
Yeah, and they're like, wait,
And
we
there's
thought
all
these things lived forever.
Yeah.
Apparently not. We're
Giant
not
head
okay.
people.
Well, there's
I
like
love
all
the giant head
cool,
people.
There's like all the cool people, right? So if you freeze it on the frame when he comes walking out, and everybody's in like silhouette, there's Ewoks, C-3PO.
Yes, there is. Yes.
I think R2-D2 is there. There's a lot of Star Wars characters, a lot of homage to different things like that. Yeah, like that scene where they're silhouetted.
And there's also a bunch of little people.
Yes.
A lot of little people.
Yeah.
And they didn't even cover like their faces, or they just put them in these big furry things. They're my favorite little people in this.
Yes.
I love them. So they're
It's
right
awesome.
behind Artax.
Yes.
So. Wait, was that? No, not Atreyu. Sorry, Atreyu. Artax is the horse.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Trey is
So-
the man.
All
the
right.
boy,
So
the boy.
big concepts, big philosophy, a lot to deal with, and we're only like 20 minutes in, or 10 minutes into this movie. I think,
Something like that. They move quick.
Yes, it is. It is super
And
fast.
so basically he says like there's only one person who can do it, and he hunts the buffalo. And
He
this
hunts
is
the buffalo.
the purple
blue,
buffalo.
the purple buffalo. Yeah.
And this is where you learn that like
the plains people.
What's his name is Bastion is like having an influence on the story.
Yeah.
Because if you look at his backpack, it's an Indian hunting buffalo.
Oh yes, yeah, it's all connected.
So he's like, wait, what the hell? Qua?
Anyway.
Sorry, there's something in my eye.
Get it out.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Knock it off.
Unsuccessfully. But yeah, so
you
he
can do
looks,
this thing where you grab your eyelashes and pull your eyelid
Yeah.
over the top.
Oh, I've done that, and then I've hurt myself horribly. Like one time I did that, and my eyelash flipped back for some reason.
Oh,
like I pulled
the
it
hell
too
is
hard.
wrong with you?
I pulled it too hard, and I curled it.
Indian stuff.
Indian stuff. It's just what happens. But like that when you want to like curl something like curling ribbon, I think that's what happened. I pulled my eyelash too hard and it curled back and went right
you
at my
took the
eyeball.
scissors and
Yeah, I did that kind of thing, and I was wrapping presents.
Yeah, that
but
sounds
with my
horrible.
eyeball. Yeah, it was horrible, dude. It was really bad.
But
Anyway,
anyway, they bring he's looking for this great warrior, and a child shows up. I'm like, hey,
oh hey, yeah, this guy. He's like, no, we called for the warrior, and he's like, well, bro, no one else is named me.
yeah, do you see any purple buffalo here? Killed him.
It's me. Yeah, you know why? They're all dead because me. That's why. Now
What do you need?
What?
Why do you have a dorsal fin?
What? Do you speak Klingon? Is that your thing? Because you look like you're part of the Klingon
Snowflake calls him at home. He has a dorsal fin.
He's got a dorsal fin. It's mapped for radar. It's 5G up there is what it is. He's picking up all the feet.
And he explains to him, like, oh, you can fight the nothing, but you're not allowed to take any weapons. And you have to go by yourself.
Yeah.
And how do I fight it? I don't know.
Here, take this piece of jewelry.
Dude, listen, like this guy. Listen, we used to have a map. We used to have a thing. We lost the thing. It got broken. Now it's nothing, and now it's a problem.
We need you to stop it.
just figure it out. All right.
Can I take my bow? No, we need that.
No, if you take your bow, we lose.
That's
what do you mean?
That's
you
ours.
just can't.
If you take your bow, they may use it against you.
That's ours now.
And why does the Atreyu, who the Plains boy, have like the most flawless skin I've ever seen in my life?
5.
Who is this beautiful human
Yeah,
child?
like what is happening here? Like it cuts to Bastion, and it's like, okay, that's like a normal looking boy.
I remember when I was little, I thought it was a girl.
Yeah, it's like, dude,
I did
he's
too.
pretty.
Yeah, dude. I was jealous of his hair. Like
He kind of looks like the kid from Indian in the Cupboard.
Yes.
The actual Indian in the cupboard.
The actual little Indian that's in. Well, the Indian in the cupboard actually was like a mohawk or something. He had shaved head and all that. But the kid who opens the cupboard and closes the cupboard and tries to have.
They probably just put way too much makeup on this kid. Is what happened.
He's probably caked in it. Honestly,
Yeah.
he's still talking to that guy and telling him like, "Hey, you gotta go figure this shit out. None of us are gonna do it."
Yeah,
I do love how Atreyu shows up and he's like, yeah, we're looking for Atreyu. And he's like, yeah, I'm Atreyu. They're like, no, we need a man. And he's like, then why the hell did you send for me?
Yeah.
Why am I here?
He's talking to Yondu.
He is talking to Yondu. He's gonna whistle at any second, and the arrow's gonna show
One
up.
of Atreyu's arrows is gonna come out of the backpack.
That's absolutely right. He's talking
Yeah, then he gives him the Orin.
Mary Poppins,
symbol.
He gives him the 2 snakes eating each other. That's where the paramedic symbol comes from. It's not. But.
It is a cool
yeah,
symbol,
what is
though.
that thing, honestly? I've never questioned it, but
it's like a Latin thing.
It's a Aladdin?
A Latin.
Oh, a Latin
Either way
thing.
you want to go.
Hey!
I'm going to go test the drag coefficient on tassels on my flying carpet.
You never had a friend like
You know the worst part of this movie?
Please.
Is Bastion.
Yeah, yes, he's kind of the wet noodle. He plays it. He's supposed to be a wet noodle, but he kind of plays it too wet noodly.
It's I mean, I guess you could kind of put it on the director too, where it's like you couldn't do another take.
Just
like,
one more.
Yeah, like some of the deliveries, like when later on in the movie when you start finding out like that what the guy in the bookstore was telling him was that like this is like if you were to read 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and Captain Nemo is trapped in the Nautilus. Mm-hmm. You are Captain Nemo if you read this book. You're trapped in the Nautilus. You're going to die if you don't do anything about this. But they come to that one part and they're like, he doesn't know what he's supposed to do. And he's like, what am I supposed to do? Like, it is the corniest sounding line. And it's like, you couldn't give him like another shot at that? Or to give him some direction? Like, just scream it. Don't like, da 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 da.
Yeah. No, the one part that gets me with it is when he's something happens and someone eats and Atreyu eats or something like that. Oh, and he's like, it's time to eat. And he's like, no,
this is the part where they're at the river.
Great idea.
Yeah, this is the part
where
where
he's
he's
at the river and he's like
talking to Artax.
The horse is waking him up and he's like, oh,
hey,
you're
bud.
hungry.
Hungry.
It's a good idea. No, it's a great idea. He pulls out a peanut butter jelly sandwich.
It's his little monologue to himself though, where he's like, no.
And then he's like, no. We have a long way to go.
Dude, he takes like one little bite out of the damn thing too.
I would have housed that entire sandwich. I've been like,
I guess he is from Germany.
Do I have another one in there? Yeah, from like 1980s Germany. There's still a wall up.
You don't want to read the whole book on the starving tummies, but you don't want to be completely full. You want to have just little nibbles.
The staff with the serpents comes from the story of the Greek god Asclepius. He's the god of healing.
Asclepius?
What
did you say?
It's
what?
I probably butchered that.
Asclepius?
Asclepius?
Asclepius. Asclepius.
Sounds like Asclepius to me.
I'm with you on that
good.
one.
I'm not okay. Good.
No.
It's not just. And his like cult in the story used
Oh,
snakes.
okay. Well, like so with the Achilles, I mean his brother
Bophides. His mom dipped him in the river Styx, but held him by his wang.
By his nuts, yeah, they're sacking.
And then their cousins suck on each showed up later.
She held him by his tongue.
Oh, we're real mature on this show. For anyone who's just
now you embark on the journey, and he goes through like the plains and then the mountains and then the desert.
Did you
great
notice
soundtrack in this?
that at the scene where he feeds Artax and they're like hanging out, that if you took the water out and you put a river of chocolate, they might as well be in Willy Wonka's factory.
Yeah, because
and you know what? Willy Wonka, that movie was shot in Germany. Well, how crazy is that?
Was it the same set?
I don't know.
Maybe it's the same dude. And when Willy Wonka whistles, they come out of the book.
Yeah,
maybe.
Maybe.
Deep Roy's like, hold on.
Yeah.
I'll be right.
Dude, and then you see.
I don't think I'm supposed to be here yet.
What's the name of the wolf again? Because he's
Big
not.
Bad?
He's not Grummer or something like that. Or
he's not the nothing.
Grower.
He is not the nothing, but he's like the defender
He's a servant.
of the nothing.
He's a servant of the nothing.
Yeah.
He's almost like
He's like the avatar of the nothing.
he's like the pessimist of life, where it's just like
Oh, dude, this part
nothing.
always fucking weirded me out.
You know how
this is the shit.
Well, you know
this
how
is
like
it.
you know
Yeah.
how like Barry Allen is the avatar of the Speed Force and Thawne is the avatar of the negative Speed Force.
I'm gonna believe you on that. Yes. I totally know. Yeah.
Words.
I
You said 'em.
100% I know
I
what
heard
you're
'em.
talking about.
Awesome.
He's the avatar of the nothing.
I'm trying to say, it's not Angerwook. Definitely not that. Our girl, no, third bully, first bully, the childlike empress. No. Yeah, I don't remember. I think it was what the name of the damn wolf was, because that's the most terrifying wolf I've ever seen. It still
They did a
is.
really good job.
Gamork.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah.
They did a really good job on the like animatronics and like the look.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, this part.
Yeah.
Well, and that's where his look comes from, the fact that the kid gets freaked out and the
Right.
like dog head in the attic. Like,
Oh yeah, because everything's connected.
Yeah.
The boy that's reading the book with his peanut butter sandwich. Peanut butter sandwich. Anyways,
pork chop
hungry.
sandwiches.
I did remember. So just classic. Like, hey, remember the '90s when like how weird it was when you would be a kid and you'd go over to like a neighbor's house and you'd just be playing with that neighbor kid. You don't really know them. You never saw their parents, because this happened to me. All right.
What?
I was living on 80th Street down here. Yeah. What? You know, you never like meet kids in the street. You never met kids in the street.
What?
And they're like, "Hey, come over," and you're like, "Sure." And you never meet their parents. You never talk to them. You know? Anybody?
I mean,
What?
Do I need to go to therapy? I need to
no,
go to therapy.
probably
Okay.
Not. Probably not.
Probably not. Do I need to go? Okay.
no.
Anyways,
Not for
I mean,
that.
you made it so far. You're good.
I'm here. I'm
You Indian
balanced.
stuff.
Yeah, we all landed in the same place.
Sunny D.
It's Indian stuff.
You got a wife and 2 kids, so you're more well adjusted than I am.
It's Indian stuff.
Anyways,
Okay,
so-
we gotta.
Do you want to pause the movie on this? Do you want to pause it while you got there?
Coming. It's Artax.
No, but I wanted
It's
to-
happening.
Sadness.
Anyways, so in the 90s,
So here's
Yeah.
the.
we had a neighbor
Yes.
named Anastasia, and she lived 2 doors down from us. Went over to her house. I have never in my life seen that girl's parents, but we went over and we hung out. And somehow my sister was friends with her, and I would just tag along. So we go over to her house. This movie was playing on VHS.
So
And
that's not like a random person in the street.
no. But I never met this child's. I've never seen their mother and father. They had an amazing house, though. So beautiful. But I somehow ended up on a summer's day alone in their living room watching this movie on VHS.
This story sounds very similar to you going to your relative's house in
Right.
Missouri and just popping in a random movie.
Yeah,
and
but
That's
sitting on
exactly
the
what
couch.
happened.
But
It's
you're much
exactly-
more comfortable at your own relative's house.
I
to
was
do
much
that
more-
That's what I'm
shit.
saying. This seems to be a running theme in Matt's life.
I would just show up and just be places and no one knew that I was there, because then I left after the movie ended. I left. I went home. My sister was back at the house and she never told me that she left. So I was just alone in these people's
That's
house watching this movie. And
They
I
come
saw-
home and just the dad freaks out.
Yeah, just like, whose
holy shit,
random
there's a
ass kid
child.
is this? Yeah,
Yeah, right.
I swear I don't
You
think
know that-
anyone else was there.
you know that Gamort came through the doorway like, What's this bitch doing in here?
What's he doing there? So that's my relationship with this movie is that I remember this scene when he's talking to him, he's like, oh, Shell Mountain, and the giant turtle comes up, terrified me.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrified me.
Okay.
So
But let's get to the scene with Artax because it's sad. I'm not saying it's not sad. But like you've known this horse for like 15 seconds.
You don't have any relationship with that horse already?
Nope. Just learned its name.
Let it die.
You know when I learned its name? When he tried to pull it out of the mud.
You can tell the difference between Trey and us because we saw the movie when we were children, and Trey obviously missed that train.
I didn't see this movie till I was like in high school, and my oldest brother was like, "You've never seen the NeverEnding Story?" And I was like, "No, I know that there's a flying dog."
Yeah.
And he's like, "It's not a dog, it's a dragon." And I was like, "Looks like a dog."
I've seen the cover lots of times, maybe up on the shelf over here.
I thought the bad guy for the longest time when I was little was the big rock guy.
Oh, really? Okay.
I thought he was the bad guy.
No, not the bad guy. He just eats rocks.
Because if Ninja Turtles taught me anything, is that rock's bad.
Rock's bad. You're right. You're absolutely right. No, but like this movie crushed me as a kid. I just remember being like, don't let your horse get sad because then they sink.
Okay, but okay.
You know they had to train those horses for like 12 weeks
To sink?
because what the
They're just sitting there. They're just sitting there with the horse.
Showing him pictures.
They're like,
You're showing him pictures of like
like your best
of glue.
you're-
They're sitting there with those horses reading chapter 11 of Amistad.
they're like your best friend moved away.
Showing him spurs.
This
Riding
is-
crops.
This is Seabiscuit. Broke his leg. Had to shoot him.
And glue.
Here's Elmer. Here's Elmer's. Here's some
Who
more
found
Elmer's.
that out, by the way? Who was like, hey, look at this beautiful horse. So I bet we get some fucking glue out of this shit.
Jockey that got stuck.
How far can we boil this before we start? It's a problem.
Oh man,
For people,
so
for
weird.
people
Like,
that's-
how do you figure that out?
That might be my best one since this first one.
that might be, yeah. How far can we boil this thing before people start asking questions like, "What are you doing?"
That far.
It's sticky. Lots. Look, sticky. Sticky. It's not fun.
Well, then we run
not
into
for
the
Wait. I just have a question. The horse gets sad and it dies, and it's sad. I'm not saying it's not sad. But the other kid is bawling his eyes out.
Yeah.
Why did he not sing?
He's not singing.
that doesn't make sense at all.
Is that because the swamp's not making him sad? Like it's external sadness?
Well, I think it's like it's no, it's not
It
about
doesn't
his
make
worth.
sense. It doesn't.
Well,
It just doesn't
to
work.
be fair, though, a horse is a lot heavier.
No, but
You need a lot less sadness.
So
Lot
you're in
less-
the
lot
you're in
less
the
sadness
you're in
to
the swamp of sadness. The
Right.
whole reason that Artax sinks is because it's sad.
Yeah.
So he's sad over losing Artax, but he doesn't sink. There's no logic.
Is he not standing
Maybe
in
it's
like
because
the sad,
he has the RN.
Is he not
Maybe it's
standing,
because he's the main character
is
and
he
you
not
can't lose
standing
him in the
like the
mud.
sad sand?
I don't
there's,
know,
like,
but he
sad sand
dries
and not
awful
sad
quick in this conversation with this like thing that looks like a penis that talks to him. Totally looks like a wang.
That's
hanging
what it
out
looks
there.
like. Yeah. That's what it looks like.
Dune.
Ladies, that's what it looks like. Talk to your husbands. Ask them. That's what it looks like. But I mean,
this part.
The only good thing about it is you can't beat that dead horse.
This turtle's an asshole.
He's 4 feet underground.
It's true. Well, so what I was saying about that, they had to train the horse the horses that they used over 12 weeks because they lowered it into the mud on like a contraption
and to not freak out.
Obviously, a horse's reaction and literally brought the mud up to its head. So the whole horse is under the mud.
Yeah.
And they had to train it. It took 12 weeks to train the horse to stand there and not freak out and try to pull itself out of the mud.
You couldn't train me for 12 weeks to stand there.
The claustrophobia would be intense.
No. You ever I took a tour in the swamps and I got stuck in the real soft mud. And the guy was like, "Hey, don't step there." And I went, "What?"
Oh, yeah,
and I
you
stepped
told
there.
us that story.
And I couldn't get out.
That's crazy.
And that freaked me out. It took 4 people to pull me out. And this was when I wasn't 300 pounds. I was like maybe a $120, $140 at most. I don't know.
Crazy.
It took 4 people to pull me out. That's how deep you can sink in that mud. So I understand the mud of sadness.
Yep.
Well, but then he meets the Turtle Mountain, and that turtle's that turtle's an asshole.
Yeah, dude.
Well,
the whole like
it's funny because if you listen to what it's saying, and you really have to pay attention because it's very confusing how it talks in multiple like personalities.
It's like Yoda a little bit.
Yeah, because he's like, oh,
like if Yoda was an asshole.
he's like, oh, we've been here, and he's like, well, is there somebody else here?
Yeah.
You live? And he's like, no, I've been here for so long that I've like, it's like split personality. Like I talk to myself.
It's me and myself.
Yeah, it's like
be
me
here.
and my thoughts.
That's kind of what happened to Yoga and Dagobah. We're kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It's true.
Well, then he basically says like, I've been here for thousands and thousands of years and super lonely, just there in the mud by himself.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, we're all going to die. And he's like, at least death will be something. It's like, wait, no, you can't keep sneezing on him. And he's like, what are you sick? And he's like, no, I'm allergic to youth.
I'm allergic to optimism is what it is.
Well, no,
I'm hearing.
The best comeback would have been like, no, it's not going to be something. It's nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
You're going
like, you know how there was like a lake and it dried up? Not like that. Like it's gone. Just gone.
Not there. This turtle's just like, well, at least that'll be better than this, right?
His theme song is, and nothing else matters.
So close, no matter how far.
Nothing really matters.
I shouldn't try to sing with this voice. I got one note. That's
and
it.
this is the part of the movie that it didn't make me mad. That's
Pissed
not
you
the
off.
right. No, but that's not it. It's the part that makes the least sense out of this whole thing.
Okay.
I get over the set. This school ends, and this boy's like, I'm going back upstairs.
I'm going back upstairs to finish this book.
Kiss my ass. Go home and read it.
Don't call your father, whose dead mother he had to bury that woman a month ago.
Does it say that she died?
I don't know.
I think
none of it.
Mom left us.
Mom's
To go to
gone.
heaven.
Didn't she say like he said something like now that mom's gone? Mom's gone can mean a lot of things.
Yeah.
Mom could be she was drinking a 40 and
Maybe
didn't even look in the rearview mirror.
He has a brother who may just befriend a whale someday. But
No wonder Bob didn't come back. She's in Germany.
She's in Oregon. Yeah, no, she had to fly from Germany to Oregon. No, so you're right. You're absolutely right. The school shuts down. Like they're turning off lights, which I was I think teachers usually stay at least an hour after to clean up. No, everyone's out. This is German.
it's not how it works in Germany.
It's not how it works.
They're like,
the schnitzel
das
is
ist
burning.
alles.
We have to go.
Das ist alles. Let's go.
Eins, zwei, drei, now. Leave. No, so oh geez, that was the German
That
hit
one
you.
hurt a little bit. Look, there's the gore or Gorlock.
Gamork. Yeah, the
he's
thing, the
coming
way
for
that
a
thing
trade.
runs, I think that's part of it because I know it's an animatronic, but there is definitely a scene where they shot it out of a cannon to get the speed at which it leaves its like lair or dungeon. Because they're like 3, 2, 1, wolf, just gone.
Wolf go bang.
Yeah. But it's this like on top of Atreyu he's trying to find like an invisible fight an invisible monster that nobody really understands or knows.
And he has to walk thousands of miles.
Doesn't understand where it is, and the turtle tells him like, "Hey, yeah, you should go talk to the Southern Oracle.
That's 100,000 miles.
It's 10,000 miles south of you right now." And he's like, "Shit." And sure enough, this wolf is now chasing him, and he almost gets him. But that's where we get
my favorite scene in the movie.
Luck Dragon.
You get Falkor.
We get our Falkor. Which I love the animatronic for Falkor, but I have to say, when he first meets Falkor, I also was terrified of him as a child because the mouth doesn't move with the words, and the guy who delivers the lines is so creepy because he's like, "I don't eat children."
Yeah.
Well, at the
It reminds me of the Muppet Christmas Carol, like the big redheaded.
He's Marley and Marley.
Oh, you mean the Ghost of Christmas Present?
Yeah, he reminds me of him. I don't know why.
Know me better, man. I'm a luck dragon.
It's weird though how like Falkor's design because he basically looks like a dog ferret.
Dog.
He looks like a dog ferret.
Like a dog ferret. You're absolutely right.
But then if you put a cocker spaniel on an otter.
Later on, when they're at they go down to the Southern Oracle, and
looks more like
he's
a
like
dragon.
doing all the stuff like they're waiting for Atreyu to come back.
Yeah.
and he screams. Well, you can see it in this scene too. He's got fucking scales.
Yeah. And there is a discrepancy with his design. Yeah,
it's very weird.
And a spine down his back. You're absolutely right.
I mean, it's cool, but like he's very strange.
This felt very Princess Bride with Max the Magnificent.
Oh yeah.
Like the nice mutton.
Humpa-ding.
Yeah, humpa-ding.
Humpa-ding.
Mutton, lettuce, tomato. It's just the mutton's nice, real nice and lean. You get the same, but I love the makeup in this too. That the old guy, the old one, he has like one little tooth, and that's it. But the rest of his prosthetic looks great, and he's. Yeah, it's brilliantly written, and the CGI works for it. Like, there's a couple it's a little hard, but man, it still holds up. My kids loved it. Yeah, like they loved this movie. That's cool. But they were terrified of the wolf, and they did not. They actually did not like Falkor at all. Actually,
well, he's weird looking.
Yeah, they were concerned about him.
And his face is very odd.
Yeah.
And off-putting.
But he's doofy though, man. I like him.
I like him too.
The way he left.
But I can see not liking him. I could understand that.
He reminds me. What's that movie with the shark? That's like
I think it's called Strange Wilderness, where he's like, this shark is look at that thing's teeth. Wow. I'll have to share that one. That's one of my favorite laughs though to do when somebody makes a joke and it doesn't land. It's just in the bag to slowly start going.
Mine is the Family Guy one where they talk about the WNBA. They're like, and at the end of the second half, the score is 28-17.
Right.
Wilson leads all scorers with 4. Is having this minor talent worth being this unattractive? That's for the fan to decide. He goes, yay!
The fan.
It's one guy in the stands.
Or the ostrich. It's like, ha ha.
There's another one though where like Peter goes to it's like a coffee shop in that band. I think Monsters and Men or something is playing. They're doing the Hey song, the Lumineers. Is like they're doing that Hey, and like this horse comes in and turns to Peter and goes, "This is my favorite band," and then it just cuts to Peter like doing other stuff, and he's at the dinner table and he goes, "Oh, it's because it was a horse. He likes hay."
Peter the horse is here.
Yeah. Peter the horse is here.
Well, speaking of Family Guy, they do a joke about Falkor.
Yes, they do. Yeah,
he's like, this book fuels my imagination, and he's like, yeah. And Falkor's like, we're getting a little heavy, buddy. He's like, yeah. He's like, we're going down. Falkor buries himself into the ground, and Peter's like, yeah.
It's all muffled. Good. This movie has touched so many lives. It's so iconic and so a part of like all. I mean, I couldn't like. You have to understand like how brilliant and how impactful the imagery is of this movie that like it stays with you.
I wonder in Zelda Breath of the Wild, there's dragons.
Yeah,
and I wonder if they're like inspired by Falkor because like they
probably most definitely
they go in like the weird like zigzag pattern.
Yeah,
but he only does that when he doesn't have the rider. When he has a rider, he's like.
Yeah, I mean that's hard as shit to hold on to.
I'm darting you, baby.
Like imagine being on a horse without a saddle, and that thing can wiggle as it runs, like as it's galloping
trying
across.
to ride a snake.
And he's not helping.
Falkor's like, just hang on,
bro, just hang on. Grab my ears.
Grab a scale or something.
This is on you, bud.
You better lock in.
This is where you meet the witch and the scientist.
Listen, you fall off again. That's on you.
Hey, scientist.
Yeah. So witch and the scientist. Yeah. So she's brewing this nasty concoction.
It's got Eye of Newt in it.
And scales and lizard and guts. Oh, they're so brilliant. That's
even
why
as a little kid.
Humpa-ding.
Even as a little kid, I was.
Sorry, I almost.
I think someone had too much Sunny D.
Sunny D.
Good thing it's got a top on.
Good thing, yeah. I noticed you guys don't use the top, and
I do when I have it.
I washed it once, and I was like, I'm done with it.
Yeah, I do when I use mine. You all right?
It's too inconvenient.
I don't think you bitch to clean. I'm not doing it anymore.
It's actually pretty easy. But the little slide part just pops right out.
I'm probably just lazy.
I think so.
That's all right.
But the guy's basically telling him, like, yeah, I know how to get to the oracles, but, like, you're going to die.
Yeah. Hey, and I've been here, like, 300 years or something like that? I love that he tells he's like, I've been spending my whole life writing the first volume of my book.
Because I don't know what's beyond
here. Volume 1, 1,000 years of studying the stars.
Yeah, and he's like, the early years. Yeah. Ancient already. I love the humor of that. It's like, yeah, he kind of had to read into it. Like this, he's not going to live.
I didn't realize at first when I watched the movie that they were tiny. Oh, so I'm like, why do they keep cutting to like this giant close up of his head? And then she handed him the cup, and I'm like, oh, they're tiny.
It's like a thimble of things.
Mm-hmm. And they have to put him in the little bucket to run him up to the telescope.
He's great, though, too, because he's like, now it's my turn. I get to teach him. Yeah. And then he gets in that thing, and he's like, can't you go to the winch, wench? Yeah. I tried yelling that at my wife. She was not about it. Yeah.
To the winch,
winch.
Well, and then like they do the thing where he shows him the telescope and they're looking at the oracle and he's like, it's my turn. It's my telescope.
Yeah. He's being a real bitch.
He turns into a child.
Yeah, he's like, a real bitch.
It's like me, mine. But like, so all of these movies, this whole movie, great art direction, excellent choices in terms of like, oh, this is the layout. This is what Fantasia looks like. We're getting to a part here where he's like, oh, this is the oracle. And all I can say is like this design decision was made, and it's titties.
Yeah,
it's just
two like females facing each
big
other,
golden titties. It could have been fine, but they added the nipple to the Sphinx, and you're just like, dude. Like my wife was like, do we fast forward this because this
too
is
late
weird.
now. You already seen it.
He's in it. Sorry. Like,
you already seen it.
The kids got to watch it. They got to know it's happening. Gonna learn today.
But the author of the book was involved in the movie, in the production of the movie.
Oh yeah,
and then hated it and didn't want any part of it.
Oh man,
and didn't want his name included in any of the like credits or anything like that. And it was all because of the design of the Sphinx. And the nipples and the breasts being like exposed.
Yes, but exactly why? I've seen Sphinx design. Like
I've seen Sphinx.
There's a big one in Egypt. Yeah. No titties on that one. Like,
I mean, just like you said, you just don't put the nipple on it, and it looks like it's a shirt.
It's like the park in Naked Lady Park.
Naked Lady Park, Dante Facel Park on 57 Red Road, man. Yeah, like if they threw nipples on that thing, I would be like, honey, no, we're not playing on that, dude. No, like get.
Why?
Not why? Who sculpted this exactly? Because that went through 3 or 4 people where they're like, titties are fine. That's great. Perfect.
And I mean, they're so cool.
Yeah, because honestly they find out that they have
cool.
They're the golden gun of this movie. They instant kill, and not just like instant kill. They like burn the body to ash, but leave everything else intact. Yeah, because there's a knight that comes up. And it rides up in his horses, and then like the whole thing is like you have to know your self-worth,
right,
and not doubt your self-worth.
You have to have confidence.
Yes, confidence. Just be like, okay, I'm a piece of shit.
Why is the key always confidence?
Yeah.
Why is it never flop sweat?
Flop sweat and self-doubt.
Yeah.
And hatred.
Self-loathing and doubt.
And flop sweat.
You want to be back in the swamp.
Why is it never flop sweat and love handles?
Oh, a lot of life is flap, sweat, and love handles, though. That's
so one of the things
I got you covered.
One of the things that bothered me a little bit about that threw me off about them being really small is when the lady is trying to draw or inject Falkor with the like vitamins or whatever.
Yeah,
she's like the same size in relation to Falkor as Atreus or was
Atreyu? Yeah,
sorry, Atreus is the kid from God of War.
You know what? I have to wonder if your name originally was going to be Atreyu, and they were like, "No, just Trey. Let's just go Trey."
His name is Trainer.
Yeah, and then Trainor.
A trainer.
A trainer.
Because they knew what he was going to be when he went to college. They were like, "It's Trainer, the trainer."
So oh my god, that was fucking annoying. All right, I'll tell a story about that real quick. Our boss, when I did athletic training, our boss got really mad if we just responded to trainer. Like he was very big on like. Make them learn your name. Do not just let them yell trainer.
And you were like, well, shit.
Well, so I kept responding to it.
My name's Robert.
I kept responding to it, and my boss is like, why is this so difficult for you? And I'm like, because it's my fucking name. And he was like, no, it's not. And I pulled out my driver's license, and he goes, Oh, you gotta be shitting me.
Well, this is a new one.
Well, come on in. That's a horse of a different color.
Imagine that one kid named Shithead, and they were like, "Oh my God, it's on my Shatheed. It's on my license. Here you go."
What's that from?
What? It's Shatheed.
No. Oh, that's a Wizard of Oz, right?
No,
that's a
horse of a different. No, that's from Rookie of the Year.
Horse of a different color. That's Wizard of Oz. You're right. That's what horse is that? That's a horse of a different color.
No. There's one where he's like, "Well, why didn't you say so?"
Right.
That's a horse of a different color.
Yeah.
Come on in. That's from Rookie of the Year.
Isn't that from Wizard of Oz 2 when the guy's like heads out the thing?
No, but yes, the original line is from Wizard of Oz, but then Rookie of the Year when he's like, "Yeah, come on in."
I think it's the same guy.
It's him mimicking it. Yeah,
I think it's the same guy.
There's no way that's the same guy. There's no way.
Because Wizard of Oz is like a billion years old.
Yeah, it's like I think 39 or something like that. It's ridiculous. Did anyone watch Wicked? Anybody?
No, I haven't seen it.
It's all right. It's nice.
I've heard it's good.
It's
just
really entertaining.
The interviews with the Ariana Grande and the woman that plays the witch are very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it is.
The way they're like touching on each other constantly and stuff.
Just caressing.
Yeah, it's fucking weird, dude.
Is a problem.
And then like how like one of them will just like stand up and start singing, and you're like,
it's not the same guy. It was the director's favorite movie when he was a kid.
It's definitely inspired. Definitely inspired.
David Stern.
It would be a miracle if that guy was alive.
David Stern.
Well, he could have been like somebody that was in the movie.
Oh, right. Like one of the dwarves or something like that, writing his first draft. The Wizard of Oz. The early years.
So to walk through the Sphinx, they can see into your heart. So it's like, what is it? You have to know your self-worth.
Viewers, please come check us out on YouTube.
Avert your eyes. They have like chicken feet too.
Yeah, it's not okay. I'm just going to say.
And they have wings.
Because they keep them in there and they keep doing a shot from up underneath pointing up at them.
Well, this was the creepiest part of the movie to me when the knight dies and then he gets to the...
That one. That's the one.
He gets to the...
I might have to blur that out. That might be too much.
To like where he gets to like where the knight gets laser-eyed and the freaking thing flies open and the knight's face is like all burnt up and he's like...
No, because that's what I said. It's like, it doesn't burn like what you're wearing. It burns you because it cares about you not being confident. It's like a scene out of
Zombies in college.
Yeah, dude.
I halfway expect him to just go.
This is the one right here. I kind of thought it'd be great if you talked to me like, "Do I look all right?"
That really hurt.
Kind of be. Did you gotta leave a mark? Do you have any tab? It's really big in the 80s.
Do you have any heat tab?
Do you have any tab?
From Team 4-Star where they're like, is there a heat tab?
Oh my God. Anyways. So Trey, he gets through this. Spoiler alert. He gets through this part.
He like does a barrel roll.
Yeah. He jumps through basically. Like, why did anybody like...
he peppies it.
But like, why didn't the knight? He could just ran the horse through like really fast.
Well, that knight thought, there's no way they're killing me.
No way. Well, like, I wonder if he tried to come through on the luck dragon, that would have been any help. No thanks, bud. You had to take a nap.
Falkor was like, oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Well, no, man. He had to. You have to do it.
Yeah, it's all about you.
You have to do it.
You're right. Yeah.
What's the point of having a luck dragon?
No, so he makes it through, only to then find out the Southern Oracle is just the same titty Sphinx
in blue.
In blue. And it's like we just wanted more footage of that.
But maybe that's why Falkor didn't help him because he was like asleep and she jabs him.
Yeah, she injects him a little heroin. Like, you're gonna have a party tonight.
It's like vitamins.
Well, yeah, when you go back and you look, so she's like standing on his back.
Yeah,
and when Atreyu's there, he's like sleeping all in his arm. So it's just an optical illusion. Yeah. Like, I mean, it had to be hard to do that effect back then.
There's a full-size version of this thing somewhere. Apparently.
Yeah, in Germany.
It's still in Germany?
At an amusement park. It's one of the most popular like destinations to go and check. Like, you can actually get on it and stuff.
Oh, I'd be down. We should go to Germany. We can sprechen the Deutsch.
Something they just want to distract. Like, again, it all comes back to Family Guy with me. But like when they're on the tour of Germany, and he's like, excuse me, like, what about like during this year and this year? Like, no, in 1945, the Germans invaded Poland. We were not. We were invited. Punch was served.
Punch was served. Dude, it reminds me of...
We were not. We were invited.
And then it's funny that you say it all comes back to Family Guy with me because it all comes back to the Big Bang Theory with me. And the scene where Penny starts taking a class at the local college, and she's taking a history class.
Yeah.
And Bernadette and Howard are dating, and Howard's Jewish. Bernadette's ancestors are Polish.
Oh,
and
wow.
she's like, oh, yeah, me and Howie learned that our families actually were next door neighbors in Poland. And she goes, oh, wow, that's cool. And the other girl is like, no, it's not. I'll explain it to you later. She's like, what? She's like, look it up in your book.
No, it's not.
Isn't it Amy that says it to her?
Yes. Yeah. Because she doesn't know, no, it's not.
It's honestly hard to imagine that A, this movie is 41 years old.
Yeah.
And B, Family Guy is
like,
you know what else is hard to believe?
25-year-old. Yeah.
That my mother thinks that I'm 40 years old, turning 40 years old.
Well,
that wasn't last year? What are you talking about?
I kind of
really funny story.
My daughter.
No. It was very funny, and I am not in the slightest. I knew.
My daughter.
Knew this was gonna happen. So, last year, was my 40th birthday,
right?
And there was no hoopla, no nothing. I don't need it. I'm a 40-year-old man.
Okay, but the reason
let me finish talking. I'm standing there standing in the kitchen the other day holding his baby, and my mom is like, hey, so your birthday's coming up soon. I'm like, yeah. She's like, so you be thinking about what you want to do. And I'm like, well, we always just go to dinner and have cake. Yeah. She's like, yeah. So I'll decide where we want to go to dinner and we'll just have cake. And she's like, yeah, but your brother and I were talking and we were thinking maybe Universal. And
I was super confused.
What are you talking about?
All my mother told me was I want to do something really special for Tyler's birthday. And I thought because oh yeah, because last year it got kind of overshadowed.
Well, it doesn't matter. So I'm like, why would we go to Universal for my birthday? I'm fine. We can go to Universal, but
the big one
doesn't have to be for my birthday,
right?
And she's like, well, it's a big one, and I had caught on a few sentences earlier what was happening, and I go, since when is 41 a big one? She goes, wait, what year were you born?
To be fair, there are 4 of you.
And then she's like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, Mom, something else happened last year when I was turning 40.
Yeah.
And she's like, what? And I'm like, she's right here. She is the reason that nobody cared that I turned 40.
This thing.
And she's like, oh, and I'm like, and I'm totally fine with it. Who cares? If yeah, okay, I'm 40. Great. Whatever. It's just another birthday when you get to a certain age, And she's like, oh, but I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. I said it last year when she was born.
Yeah.
I said, I wish she had been born on my birthday. So that way we don't have to worry about it anymore.
Double parties.
Just she has a party, I get some cake. We're cool. You know what I mean? We're cool.
Here's a little
make all the stink you want about her.
I slide him a gift on Gigi's birthday.
Exactly. Just, you want to give me a little something? Here's a little something. But everybody make a fuss about her. That's all that matters. But it was very funny that she was like, it's a big one. I'm no, it's not a big one. It's not a big one.
41? Well, you made it to the 40th, and now you're one more. That's pretty big.
Everyone from here on out.
You survived it.
Have you heard your cough? You're going to be happy you made it to that 41st.
That's right. We need to find a Sphinx and an Oracle to save Tyler.
Shit.
Oh, my God. Happy birthday to you, Trey.
Oh, thank you.
That was an early
Whoever's reading this book, fucking help.
Maybe he doesn't know what to do.
Give him a new name.
What am I supposed to do?
Just give him a new name.
Oh, this poor child. Yeah, again, so they're just sparkly now. They're sparkly blue, and it's still that same upward, up the boob shot at these sphinxes, dude.
Another thing that pissed me off. Well, not pissed me off, but made me what?
Let it piss you off. It's all right.
He had to go, 10,000 miles?
Yeah.
And
Falkor took him.
He's like, I took you 9,900 and
81 or something like that.
So this kid had to go 100 miles.
No,
hold on.
11 miles.
Yeah. No, he didn't take him that far, did he?
It took him 9,900.
You said 9,980
I don't know
something
if
miles.
19 miles? 19 miles to the end? Is that right? 9,900?
And that's because he had to go through the first oracle, and Falkor couldn't go with him.
I guess
oracle.
so, yeah.
But I also didn't see any reason why he couldn't just fly around the Oracle.
Is there a barrier? What's our altitude exactly?
Yeah, is it like the wall in Game of Thrones? Like you can't get over it?
It's like in Israel, the Iron Dome. They just start shooting down anything.
But then when he's like talking to the Southern Oracle and it starts collapsing,
yeah,
and it gives them the bad news about how like the human child has to give the Empress a new name and whatever, and it starts collapsing, and then he's like, Falkor, and then Falkor comes and gets him. Well, why didn't Falkor take him? It's the same thing as in Lord of the Rings
with the eagles.
Why the fuck didn't they take the eagles to Mordor? And you know what Tolkien said, right? When people asked him, he said, "Go fuck yourself."
Shut up. It's like, well, people would ask him like, "Hey, there's a river that goes from the ocean where you have Middle Earth from like the Shire to Mordor. Why didn't you just take the river?" And they're like, he was like, "Yeah, shut up."
Yeah.
And then the other one was, "Why didn't you take the eagles?" And people have this whole theory about the eagles. I'm a Lord of the Rings fan. I'm a nerd about it. But they were saying like the eagles, it would be like asking like the Pope or Jesus like to carry you on his back, which Jesus totally would be down with it. But it's the idea, it's like the audacity of asking like a god, essentially, like royalty. Like complete royalty. Let's just put it. It'd be asking if like for Trump to put you on his back and him to carry you to go play ping pong. That's beyond what he needs to be focused on right now. He's like he's focused on his own shit. So what?
Sorry, I looked it up. He took him 9,891 miles.
9,800.
Which means he had 109 miles left.
Shit, that's a long way to walk.
Did he teleport? Or were those tiny scientist miles?
Yeah. Probably tiny scientist
there might have been a moving pathway.
Well, he dove through the first oracle, and Nightcrawler grabbed him and went, "I have your mind fried."
But you know what? Nobody knows how far it was. Like, they're just guessing. Nobody been beyond that oracle.
That's why Falkor was sitting there going, "It's like there."
Yeah. By the way, the mile was based on a king's foot at some point where they're like, "Yeah, there's that many feet. That's 1 mile."
Yeah, the rock guy.
So I mean,
it's the rock guy's foot.
It could have been a tinier foot in this one. It could have been like, "Oh, it's Deep Roy's foot is what it is. Teeny weeny. It's Teeny Weenie's foot. 10,000. That's like 100 yards, dude." I mean, that guy, he's got a lot of ways to walk.
And one. Oh, we're there.
Oh, my God. We're here.
Son of a bitch.
How'd you do that?
Well, and then you have the scene after the Oracle where the Nothing starts firing the anti-aircraft.
Taking out Falkor. Take him out. Yeah.
That was the hardest part to
passing over Israel.
Keep in like all the background stuff looks awesome, but like Falkor's neck doing this. And Atreyu holding on there when Atreyu is falling.
This is definitely not a stick.
It's like so rough looking.
Just two puppeteers.
Hi-ho. I'm on Falkor's head.
Oh my God. Yay. Well, so to cut to it, because he has this great interaction with the wolf at the end where the wolf is like basically like, "Dude, I'm weak. The Nothing got me, but I will still rip your face off if when you give me a chance here." And it's an amazing scene because the animatronic for that wolf is absolutely terrifying. It sells the movie. If you're gonna watch any scene about it, be like, "I don't know about this one." Watch that. Just watch.
Well, you know that the actor that plays Atreyu almost lost an eye to that wolf.
What?
I saw that too.
When they fire the wolf out. The paw hit him in the face.
Oh,
cut his face right next to his eye.
The cannon, the wolf cannon.
And then they lay the wolf on top of him.
Yeah,
and it almost suffocated him. And then the special effects director later on said that the kid was a real pain in the ass to work with.
Really? Because you're gonna make
you almost killed him. Twice.
But how heavy should the wolf animatronic be?
Right.
Make it 400 pounds.
400 pounds.
400 pounds. And that way, when we launch it out to the cannon will be a natural projectile.
You break all the ribs.
Awesome. All the ribs. Awesome.
Make it into soup in the inside.
Whoa, he stalled.
I broke him.
It's like when your car
make it into soup on the inside.
That sounded like a car in winter. Just
This is super
on the inside.
Alles ist Mush.
Alles. Das ist alles for me.
Das ist Mush. Just Mush.
Ich bin ein Berliner. That means I'm a jelly donut.
I am the donut and the jelly is inside me now. I am now filled with the jelly. I love
this part, man. We already talked about it earlier, but when he sees the rock biter,
don't take that guy to the sad swamp.
Oh my, yeah, he is sunk. He is sunk, dude. I remember being a kid and crying so much.
This part, no offense, again, super sad that the horse died. This part made me more sad than the horse died because he's got like the water running down his face.
Dude, he is crying.
It's like, God, dude,
all his friends died.
My freaking friends died, dude.
Oh, you know what we didn't talk about earlier was one of my favorite parts is when he's like
when the horse dies.
I'm pretty sure we covered that.
When
can't beat that dead horse.
When you first meet the rock biter and everybody, and they're getting ready to leave, and he's like, we don't have time to wait for you to ride that snail. You want me to just pick you up and you ride with me? And he's like, oh no, it's a racing snail. And he's like, even for a racing snail, that thing takes off like a bat out of hell. And he's like, it is a racing snail.
Wow.
Yeah, that was good.
He sounded like to me it was a little Vin Diesel-y.
No, to me it was more Jabba the Hutt. Oh.
The way he talks. It was too fast, too furious of a snail.
There's gonna be Tokyo Drift at some point.
They look like strong hands. Big. Yes, that's right. Big. Strong hands.
Groot.
It's my cousin.
Who hired that guy? Yeah. I did, sir. He's my cousin.
He's my cousin.
What's it? I'm surrounded by assholes. Then he flips the visor down. Keep firing, assholes.
When will then be now? Soon. Anyway, so Atreyu meets. Does he have the moment here with Gamork?
Yeah, this is the Gamork moment coming up.
The whole time they're trying to convince the reader, Bastion,
like it's hopeless,
that he is influencing the situation. That his input is particularly important to the life
part of it.
Fantasia.
And he lost the
dingus. And he lost the dingus.
The Orin.
It's no longer hanging below him. The Orin, yes.
Falkor finds it.
Falkor does dive bomb for it.
And he goes into the level from Donkey Kong.
Well, there's all this cool artwork.
10 points if you can do the music from that.
That song makes me cry if I listen to it for too long.
How many people on this planet that I could say 10 points if you do the music to that random ass Donkey Kong video game level? And he doesn't pause for a second. And it's just like...
Just enough to grab his microphone and get his mouth right.
I have no reference. I have no way to be like, no, that's not it at all. I just have to believe you, and I do. I absolutely believe you.
It's happening.
That you know the music. From
that's
that
so
level,
creepy.
Dude.
I wish I could draw good. In this scene, the leading up to the Gamork what they were having right now. He's looking around. There's all the murals of what's happened to him and his journey.
Everything. Yeah,
and I wish I had that kind of talent to draw because whoever did those murals, they're so good.
It was awesome.
And the way they're kind of a little ethereal. They're not really defined in places and stuff.
Yeah.
Makes them even cooler looking. They're pretty awesome.
Again, and that to me is something that's so missed about movies they make today, where everyone just assumes we'll just do it with CGI and it'll be fine, and be like, no, hire the artist, hire the guy who can actually still paint that.
Yeah,
and it might be for 10 seconds at the most, but it's so impactful.
Yeah,
because it makes the whole world more believable. And I don't care who you say, you can still always tell when something is CGI and when it's not, versus a practical effect, versus when it's actually just in there. You just know, and there's something so tangible
Right.
About the, and I think that's what freaked me out about that wolf though too, is because I felt like that thing could leap out at any moment and attack me as a kid. And it's something about the way the mouth moves with the nose too. Like then it's
on the nose,
you can't hear
breathes.
it. Yeah, it's like flexing the whole time because it's taking in. You feel it's a living, breathing thing hiding in a cave somewhere, and it's something I guess. It must be innate too, because as a Native American, I mean that was like probably top predator like out there, like bears, wolves. Maybe giant sloths, like way back in the day.
It's terrifying.
You know, absolutely terrifying. Tatankas,
get through those nails.
buffalo, you can't deal with that. No, I don't want to deal with that. Absolutely not. That's
he was one of my favorite wrestlers.
Tatanka.
Yeah.
Oh, did I send you that clip? Oh, what's the big black guy? In the huge
Mabel, the fat guy?
No. He had a baby with the old lady.
Oh, Mark Henry?
Yeah, Mark Henry.
Strongest man?
Yes, Mike Henry or something, where that poor girl, so this girl comes on, she comes on to this like dating show or something, and the guy goes, do you have a nickname? Has anyone ever given you a nickname? And she goes, I don't know why, but like, for some reason, people always call me Mike Henry. Mark Henry.
Yeah. My God.
They all lose it. And she's like, I still don't know why. I don't even know who that is.
Sexual chocolate, baby. Sexual chocolate. That's what they called him.
It's so...
That's brutal. That is brutal.
Because you do see it. You see it.
That's so brutal.
She's standing there. She's like, oh, man, that's harsh, dude. That sucks. Oh, my heart goes out to you. I'm so sorry. Anyways, so Bastion is now like they eventually get to a point where like we're just yelling at this kid.
Yeah.
They just name us something. And it keeps building and building because the actress they got for the Childlike Empress, she's like 11 in this movie, right? She plays this like she is a 40-year-old veteran, bro.
Yeah, she does a good
absolutely
job.
amazing.
And she had lost her front teeth.
Oh, really? They had to do prosthetics?
They had to do like a prosthetic thing.
Oh, my gosh.
And she was battling a lisp.
Tammy
having to learn
Stronach
how to talk with the prosthetics and yeah, she's.
I mean, I had a crush on this kid, on this girl when I was a little kid. And
she's so
cute,
cute,
so beautiful now too.
Oracle, right?
Yeah, that's the Oracle.
The childlike empress.
I mean, she's gorgeous too now. Like, I mean, but she's at least 50 something, bro. Like, but absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, for sure.
But she is so impressive as she was 12 years old when she was doing this because she was born in 72. So I'm assuming
crazy
41. Absolutely crazy for her. Like the way she pleads and cries for Bastion to save them, and you're just. If you want to talk about where your anxiety originates from, it's this. It's this stupid kid not being able to just like give it a name. Her name is Jeff. Yeah. Jeff is her name.
He jumps up.
Yeah.
Runs to the window.
Yeah.
And opens the window, and then he screams because he says at one point, like, my mother, too bad I couldn't name her. My mother had a beautiful name or something like that. It would be perfect.
Yeah.
And then he realizes that they're talking to him, but he has to keep his feet on the ground because his dad told him to keep his feet on the ground. It's like, well, dude, you already skipped school, sat in a fucking attic reading a damn book. You might as well just get in on this.
It's now 11 o'clock at night. Yeah. Like you haven't told anyone. Yeah.
So he jumps up there and yells out,
Moonchild.
What was it?
Moonchild, right?
Moonchild?
Yeah, you can't even tell, but I looked it up also, and that's what I came up with. People think it was either Moonchild or Moondance. And I'm like, that was your mom's name?
Whose mom's name? That's why Dad left. I mean, like,
no, that's why she had to leave.
Oh, she left.
The circus left town, and she had
the gypsies picked up camp, and they needed to move further down the road.
She was on that same bus that took Jenny away from Forrest.
Back to Burbank, back to California.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn lying Johnson.
Sorry, I had to fight in the middle of your Black Panther party.
Sorry, about your Black Panther party. Sorry.
But, yeah, so.
Also came out 10 years after this. 84 to 94,
there
baby.
There you go.
That was it. They were preparing for this one. So, yeah, he yells some obscure word. It's literally, yeah. They're like, oh, that's my name now. He could have coughed. And that's your name. Timmy, you like lasagna? I love banana. We sorry, do I want to share that story? So it's an early YouTube video where they asked this little boy, hey, you tell me it's like, Jacob, you like lasagna? And it's this like 3-year-old kid, and he goes, I love vagina, rather than saying lasagna. And so and then people took it and they remixed it. This is early days of YouTube. This is like 2006. We're camp counselors. And so, of course,
we can't yell, I love
vagina. We just break it down to, I love manurner. And so the whole game was to try to get as many camp students to say, I love manurner. And we would give points, just points to these teams if they could come up with it. Finally, one person found it, and they said, I know what that is.
And you lose the game.
And they didn't talk to me, though. They talked to someone else that was slightly above us. They're like, I know what that is. You knew what that was. You let your counselors run around this camp saying that to other people. This is church camp, guys. Like, you have to understand, this is Baptist church camp, guys. You can't be screaming, I love vagina.
Yeah. At
any point of this show. That's it. But we can now. We can talk about these things. Yeah. It's a safe space.
On this show you can.
It's
That's
a safe
for
space.
sure.
So
I said a lot worse things than I love vagina on this show.
I love Manurner. It stands still tried and true. Anyways.
Those are core memories.
Core. Oh, solid. They made me the man I am today.
That's right.
That's what I have to look forward to.
We won't even get into other things that may have happened or may not have happened.
That's all right. I believe you, though. I really do. I absolutely believe you that you know the songs.
You know where you can find it in the Donkey Kong game?
That's true. It's probably up there.
And then it goes. It's good.
So yeah.
Oh, it's brilliant. Okay, so
he screams the name out.
Screams the name,
and then it's just nothing.
Yeah. Okay, but like.
And him, and her.
But
and
does
nothing.
Does that link the real world and the fantasy world? Because this dude is riding through downtown Germany on
Falkor.
So
yeah.
What you don't know is that the movie is only half the book.
Oh,
yeah.
That's why there's the NeverEnding Story. Dose.
That was the idea. I'm not exactly sure how I didn't look into the NeverEnding Story 2 because we were only covering the first one.
Right.
So I didn't really go into the second one. But that was the idea, is that there would be a second movie that would cover the back half of the book.
Well, when you create a movie called The NeverEnding Story, you have to think there's going to be some sequels.
Yeah, you would hope.
They hobbited this thing. They broke one book into 3
movies. I just watched The Hobbit too. Yes, but they did.
But so when he comes and they come together,
right now
over me, and she basically explains to him that like all of Fantasia, yes, I know. All of Fantasia is in this grain of sand. This is all that's left, and except for your whole being. But yes, and all you need to do is wish. Whatever you wish for will come. And he's like whatever I wish for. Mm-hmm. Yeah. How many wishes do I have? And she's like, as many as you want.
Just not a dead mom.
Like,
can't bring back.
No, you can't. Moonchild dancer or whatever her name is.
People back from
She's busy with Ginny.
I don't like doing it.
It isn't pretty. I don't like doing it.
So, so he just starts wishing for things, and one of the things he wishes for is to go fuck with the bullies with Falkor. And then so the way it goes in the book is he just keeps wishing for things, and he basically is the king of Fantasia, and there's like a war to overthrow him and like all this stuff later on in the book.
Revolution.
So that's how it goes, but that's why like then he's flying and you see Falkor riding you see Atreyu riding Artax again, and like everything he wishes for is back. The rock biter, the friends, the stupid bat, the snail.
Stupid bat.
Yeah.
Bat.
Everything is back because he just has unlimited wishes to wish Fantasia to become whatever he wants it to be. And that's what she says is like Fantasia can be whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like it's like the metaphor for reading and like, you know,
because it's imagination.
Exactly.
Yes.
The world's most powerful graphics engine, the mind.
Yes. But what does that say for the old book man? Like, was he just like, I'm too old to imagine anymore. Everything I imagine, they've canceled. I can't even have that anymore.
Well, Bastian eventually goes back to his life.
He was.
I guess so.
He had to flee to Argentina and get tried for war crimes.
Really diving into this German history here.
He's a good man there.
For all our Germanic listeners, which we do have a couple.
I'm kidding.
We appreciate your input.
Well, you've seen the comedian Flula, right? The guy who was in like
Borg, yes.
Yeah.
We
he
do
was
the
on,
shippies.
he was on Conan, and he's like, "Does it bother
So
you?
good.
Does it bother you that like Germans are stereotypical bad guys in the movies?" He's like, "No. Have you read a history book? We did some bad things.
Have you read the history book?" I love it because he goes to. You need to watch Conan's Abroad because he goes with Flula to Germany, and it's one of the best episodes you've ever seen. Like the whole time, he's like, "Oh, we have to look at each other when we take the sips. If we don't look at each other, I spit it out. I do not drink. I will not drink it. I pour it in my crotch. I will absolutely do that." But yeah, it's really good.
The best is that guy has a thing where he talks about baseball. He's like, "Oh, the pillows. You were onto the pillow." And you have the man in the trench, and they clap, and spit.
Runs with the
I think that's really funny, but still the best baseball thing is George Carlin's baseball and football.
Oh, I haven't seen
He's
that
like,
one.
"I'm running home." Damn, I can't. I have no
I get
high
to go
voice.
home. We play at the baseball park.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Well, this is a classic. You have to watch this. You have to share it with your family. If you got kids, it's time. Let them watch it because they're gonna remake it. They're gonna remake it.
They're gonna ruin it.
It's gonna be terrible. They're gonna make Falkor look really weird.
Who is it?
Not
DreamWorks?
unsettling. No, I think it was Disney. I think Disney was trying to pick it up.
Yep,
or
they're
something.
gonna ruin it.
Yeah, well, if
Falkor's
DreamWorks
gonna
did
be
it,
gay.
if DreamWorks did it, then Falkor would either be Donkey from Shrek or one of the minions.
Yeah.
Banana.
One of the yellow ones and like the little ancient guys, and it was like Popeye. Yeah. So
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us for another episode of Nostalgialand. It's been a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see what we do in the coming weeks. Please go on Instagram, go on all the social medias, nostalgialand.podcast. Send us messages, comment on stuff. Let us know what you want to hear, what you want us to do.
Yes,
any
please.
ideas for any movies you're nostalgic for. Kids movies, older, like more adult movies. We'll decide if they're appropriate enough for the show or not. But we thank you so much for listening and for participating, for being a part of this community that we're trying to put together around this fun thing, because it's a lot of fun for us, and we're trying to keep it a lot of fun for you guys. Check us out, the shop, nostalgialandshop.com.
nostalgialandpodcast.com. Sorry.
Mother shit.
Shop on Etsy.
On Etsy.
Yep, that's the one.
Nostalgialandpodcast.com.
Yep.
Nostalgialand Shop on Etsy.
Yep.
And check out the products and merch. Try my products. But yeah, I can't say thank you enough. We love you guys, and thanks for listening. I'm Matt.
I'm Trey.
And I'm Tyler. Cowbunga.